Good evening. Today is the 21st of August, although it doesn't really feel like August today. And here we are once again at the White Horse at Ampfield, which is near Romsey in Hampshire, for the classic and interesting car night they do every month. What is a classic car? What is an interesting car? Well, you need to ask the landlord, his name is John, about that, because he's the one who directs traffic into one of two different areas. These all in here are deemed either classic, interesting, or both. Certainly this Triumph TR8, so it's a TR7 with a 3.5 litre Rover V8 engine, which was originally registered, I think, in Santa Monica. It is interesting. 7980 registration. I think in America they maybe had different sort of graphics on it, so it says Spider on this one. 5-speed manual in this particular one. I bet that's interesting and a nice sound. Got the American overriders on there. Here you go. Brentwood Motor Company from Santa Monica. This is 1980. It's before they finished production in Canley, which was in 1980. It's the middle of 1980, I think it was, because the boot lock is a Canley car rather than the Solihull built ones. MGC GT 1968-69 on a G. So very nice condition actually. This MGC got the 6-cylinder engine in here, 2.9 litre I think it is, the same as in the Austin Healey 3000. In fact, it sort of replaced, I think, Austin Healey 3000 in the lineup eventually, but not much more performance really than the normal MGB, and quite heavy handling in terms of the nose of the car, so they weren't actually as successful as they thought they might be, which is why they only made them for about 2 years. They continued to make these though for much longer. MGB 77, 78 registration, rubber bumper. Actually, I'm quite fond of rubber bumper MGBs because they tend to have sort of, you know, all synchromesh gearboxes and servo-assisted disc brakes, and you know, you don't get necessarily all of those on the earlier cars. I also am not massively keen on fitting crow bumpers to the rubber bumper car. Some people like to do that. I say either just keep them as original or take them off. MGBs look also good with bumpers off if that's really what you want to do. So I can't remember the name of this colour actually now. I think this is the later yellow. The earlier yellow I think was used on the car used in the new Avengers in 1976-77 by John Lumley, but this I think is the later yellow, is like the one that I drove last summer, which is an 81 registered car but would have been built in 1980. So a DAX, interesting, because DAX obviously well known for making replicas of the AC Cobra, and this is something that looks a bit like a Caterham but clearly isn't. One thing I will say is the ignition switch is in like a better place than on the Caterham. On those, the ignition switch is in a terrible place. This is actually the steering column from the Ford, and it's just in a normal place. I wonder if that's got a full engine in it. I don't know. It's an 88-89 registration, but it's a kit car, so I've got no idea as to when that'll be. The handbrake is in the most bizarre place I've ever seen. It's actually underneath the steering column, just sort of there. That is crazy. Something a bit less crazy is this Triumph Stag. This is a Mark II 74-75 on an N. We do like these views. This is a manual one. Wonder if it's got the original 3-litre engine in it. It might do. Most of them do. Obviously, you can get other engines. You can get a Rover V8 or a 6V6, things like that. Now, this is something that's very, very nice. I very much enjoy this. This is a car that lives locally to here, and I've seen it at a few events. It's an 80-81 Vauxhall Cavalier Mark I sports hatch. And that is about, I know it's a sort of 80s car really, but it looks very 70s. Very similar actually to the Opel Manta B that was made until 1988, but Vauxhall started to rationalise their range, encouraged by Opel to eliminate most Opel badge cars by the mid-1980s. In fact, the Manta was the last Opel badge car sold in this country. They realised that there wasn't any point selling the Manta and this, you know, beyond 81 when the Cavalier Mark II came out, although this is based on the Mark I Cavalier or the Opel Ascona. Amazing sort of interior. Look at that steering wheel and things like that. Sadly, the Mantas or the Cavalier Sports Hatch never got the 6-cylinder engines. They were only available with 4-cylinder engines, which sort of meant that you know, a bit limited in comparison with all the V6 Capris that they used to make, but I like that very much, viewers. We'll come back to the Volvo in a second. I could not possibly miss that, obviously being in the club, but TR5, I think this was here last month, 1968-69 registration. The TR6 came out on a G, so this is one of the last of the TR5s. So 2500 on the side. Would this have been originally perhaps an American car converted? Well, maybe not, because it wouldn't be a TR5 at all. It would be a TR250 if it was an American one. But there we go with the Lucas mechanical fuel injection and overdrive on the steering column there. And then a 100E Ford Anglia. This is a 56. It looks rather nice. This car has been in the same ownership for a long time. Actually, there's a good information sheet and some pictures and things inside here to show more of the history of this. The owners had this car for 35 years, which is totally bonkers. There's done a lot of work to it. It looks great, doesn't it? I think it's still got original Ford side valve 1.2 engine in there. Now we come to this Volvo. 86-87 on a D. We've got a nice leather interior in here, and we've got that crazy Volvo 4-speed plus overdrive transmission. The overdrive's the button on there. Hello. Thank you very much. Owner said I can open the door. We'll have a look at all electric seats. I think this has been up spectacular, isn't it? I think it's just a 740. We've got sort of all the features, got heated seats, of course, which come on many 740s anyway. Dash has been modified a bit. Probably lurking underneath there is good old Volvo red block engine, I would say. Obviously, loads and loads and loads of room. And so, I think these are off something like to say like an S60, maybe something like that. I could be wrong. But yes, a proper lovely old Volvo. That's why we like the club so much, viewers. And another TR5. This one is a bit earlier. This is a 68 on an F. It is very, very, very shiny. It's very, very shiny indeed. Still got the overdrive, of course. Both of these have got the sort of, what we call these a target top. I don't know what they call that at Triumph in 68, but it looks very much like a target top to me. More British sports cars continuing down the line. FR05T MG, Firefrost Red 2005 MG TF. Got some nice chrome door handles. This might be one of the sort of upper models or something. We did sort of introduce some special editions towards the end. Different gear lever example in there for most of the TFs I've seen. Oh, we just found out that that is a 740 turbo. Excellent. This set's WG on this, but I think this is a Singer 9 Le Mans. Wow. Back in the mists of time, a friend of mine owned one of these, and I helped her sell it on eBay. And it wasn't this one; it was a different one. This is a long, long time ago. We're talking almost 20 years ago. But yeah, it was a 35 Singer Mans like this. Wonderful, fantastic. And then there's another one. It's also in Firefrost Red. I got confused. That is the Spark model. I don't know if that one is as well, because the wheels look very slightly different. So, could be. But it's a very late one actually, because they've discontinued in April 2005. That's in March 05. So it's a very late one indeed. Although I've seen them on even later plates than that, of course. And next we've got this Porsche 356 replica, which always at Loxley Classic Car Club. Always, even down to the tennis ball, which is still here. It hasn't actually fallen out. Yeah, it's still here. Did that have the Australian Automobile Association thing there last time? I'm not sure it did, viewers. And then we've got something else which is definitely not from this country. This Cadillac Drome d'Elegance, which I think is a 75. It is vast. Again, we've seen this before at Loxley Classic Car Club. Look at these extremely comfortable seats and the fake wood. It's like a sort of a absolute representation of 1970s America, isn't it? Fantastic. It's got to be careful where you park. Is this a real Porsche 550 Spider? I don't think it is, actually. I looked at registration, that is too late for one of these. It's an F registration, which is from the late 60s, 67, 68. So it's not, but that is a very, very nice replica. I assume this is based on a Beetle chassis. I don't think we have much in the way of creature comforts in there. I don't think we have really any at all, in fact. It's absolutely fantastic, though. Let's go over here, viewers, and someone just turned up a Lancia Delta into Gra. We'll have a look at that in a moment. More Triumphs first, though. TR3. That's very nice, and a biscuit interior. So we're going to have a beige leather interior tonight, viewers. I hope so, because I'm quite partial to those. It'll be from the late 50s, won't it? BMW Z3, I'm assuming this is a 4-cylinder. I think the 2.8, so at this stage we're badged as that. It's only got a 5-speed gearbox as well. I think some of the 6 cylinders, at least with 3 litres, did have a 6-speed gearbox. Ford Capri, I think it's a 2-litre S, 83, 84. I think again we saw this last time we were here, which is great. The wheels are a bit wider than would have been a standard, but apart from that, it doesn't look too changed. I think the indicator lenses are different. I forget the name of this colour now. It's like a sort of oxblood colour. Somebody in the comment section below tell me what colour this is, because I can't remember offhand now. And then next to it we've got, well, something that looks very much like a Bullet Mustang. It's not, of course, exactly the one that's used, but it is very similar. In fact, someone's even left a film poster in the back, which is good. 68, I think this might be. Well, it's not, maybe it's for sale, no it's not. Have a look at the poster, if we get the right way around. There we go, there he is, the man himself. I don't think we've got any Dodges here today to go up against it though. That was an auto. And then more Capri action. 280 Brooklands Capri, this one. I think this would be an 87 registration. Actually no, it would be built late 86, they all were, but that registration is a personal plate, it's a little bit earlier for it. Fantastic, yeah, very valuable now. And then some mini action. This one, 83, 84 on an A. What if this is original interior in it? It might just be like a Mayfair or something. It looks like very much like a Mayfair interior, but it's got big rev counters that would have been originally. What it is now, I don't know. Like a lot of these ones, it's been sort of gently modified. This MGA though looks very, very original. This would have been one of the early ones. Someone's fitted a 5-speed gearbox, which is probably sensible with some synchro mesh and things like that. So that's very nice. The early one would be a 1.5. And then we have this splitty here. Now this is, I think it's like a 66 or something from memory, if I've seen this before. And it's right-hand drive, so the value is increasing as I'm looking at it. I'm more interested though in some of the other stuff that's actually just turned up, including this Porsche 968, 1994, 1995 on an M. Very, very nice. I wonder what's more valuable, a 944 convertible or a 968. It's got a 6-speed gearbox in it as well. Amazing. I prefer the look of these personally. It's just my sort of feelings towards them, but I've always liked these. In fact, a friend of mine's got a Club Sport. I think he's off the road at the moment, his Club Sport, but yeah, he's had it for years. Next to it, we've got something rather different, a Morris Isis, which is, I think, from memory, the 6-cylinder version of the Oxford of this generation, which of course formed the basis for the Hindustan Ambassador for many, many years. I think they stopped production of those in 2013. Which for sale. Locally owned, it's in 1958, Isis 2.6 with floor change. Call 07836 679 844. Bench seat. Where's the floor change? Somewhere down there. Oh, it is there. Just yeah. It's interesting. I wonder if that badge lights up at the front. So it's not a Wolseley. Oh yes, viewers. Now here we have something that I'm particularly fond of. This is a 1994 Jaguar XJS 4-litre coupe. It's in a very, very nice colour, and after having looked for this for a long time, I'm pleased to say that we have a beige leather interior with wood. It's very nice condition. I know the chap who owns this. I have sort of said to him, at some point in the future, if he might consider selling it. But the thing is, I can't afford it, so I shouldn't say things like that, should I, viewers? Because we can't afford it. We would like it, but we can't afford it. So leave that alone. Never mind. And we've got a couple of, three Cope replicas. I think this one here is a Dax. I can't remember exactly. And also the plate on this, I think, is actually contemporary with the car, unlike the other two. But it is very nice. They're all nice, aren't they? It's like, which one do you like, the nice one or the nice one? They're even like a very similar colour. This one's a darker shade of blue. Look at all those switches. Very nice. So this is a late Delta Integrale. It's Evolution 2. It's sort of right at the end. These finished production about 1995, and that is a 95-96 plate. It is a personal one, but of course you can't put a newer plate on an older car, only the other way round. So yeah, 95, maybe registered 96 possibly, but they finished in 95 these. Yeah, it's worth an awful lot of money, this car. I have seen it before. It's absolutely, utterly immaculate inside. Those are the original seats and everything. And it's good to see somebody who's not afraid to get something like that out and enjoy it, even though, yeah, I'd be concerned if I had a car like this of what would happen to it. But there we go. Wonderful. Right, viewers, things have got even more exciting. I mean, this Volkswagen's quite nice. Just get out of the way of this big Volkswagen that's going in the back there. Yeah, this Volkswagen's pretty nice. It looks very original. I don't know about the piping on the seats, but everything else of the age of this looks pretty correct. I know that because when I was younger, one of the babysitters that we used to have back in the 1990s had a car that was almost identical to this. It was a different shade of red. This is like a slightly orange shade, but in every other respect it was pretty much the same. This is 69 to 70 Volkswagen 1500, and I don't know why it's part way around everything else, but it looks remarkably kind of unmodified. There are some extra gauges in the seats and things like that, but we haven't quite sort of got ultra poverty spec with a fuel tap rather than a fuel gauge in some of these, but there we go. So that's good. But even more exciting for me as a fan of the professionals is two Mark II Escort RS 2000s together. Two of them. This one might even be a Ford press car. The registration of this is very, very similar to one of the Granada's used in professionals, which is that FEV 24T. This is FEV 89T. So there we go. This is also good. I mean, I'm not going to complain. I don't know which one I actually prefer. They're both pretty good. It's like, what do you like? Do you like the ultimate Escort ever, or do you like the ultimate Escort ever? Some people would say, the RS Turbo or the Cosworth and things like that, but because I'm a fan of professionals, it's got to be one of these. Yeah, I don't know. You pick. I think probably the green one, just simply because it might be a Ford press car, and also it's got more sort of correct wheels on it. These are both fine. There isn't a problem with them. It's just I prefer the wheels on the green car. But there we go. Excellent. I mean, we're doing very well, and they're both taking precautions of putting those wheel locks on them. Because if I owned one of those cars, that's what I would be doing as well. 79 to 80 Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow 2, complete with headlamp wipers. Oh, and of course the Rolls-Royce of beige leather interiors with cassette storage. I mean, can it get much better than that? I don't know. I mean, it looks very nice. Beige on the outside, beige on the inside with the wood. One thing I've just noticed is I'm not sure those hubcaps are staying in place. Does it have the ones that do that or not? Possibly not. But apart from that, that's good. I've only ever driven a sort of Bentley. I've driven a Rolls Royce. I don't think I have actually. I need to remedy that at some point this year. I need to drive a Rolls Royce, don't I? And I know where I can get one actually. That'd be good. Anyway, another Z3 here. This one is a very slightly different year to the other one we saw. I don't know whether this one is a 6-cylinder. Maybe it is. This is an automatic one. Okay. Oh, it's a 2. That's a 2 litre. I just got attacked by a bramble bush there, viewers. You know, it's just what happens on a channel. It's a 2 litre. Are these a 6-cylinder or a 4-cylinder? I can't remember. Answers in the comments section below. The gentleman who owns the Z3 just told me it is a 6-cylinder. Excellent. Right, since I was in this section, more things have arrived. It was very, very nice NA MX-5. Like the colour. Personally, I think I prefer the Unos sort of way, because you can get sort of things like a biscuit leather interior, but you know, that'll do. It's a 1.8 IS, it looks like a high-spec model. I think the wheels on this are off a Mark II, but I could be wrong. And then we've got other stuff that's here as well, including this Nissan Micra, this K10 Micra. I think we've seen this before somewhere. Let's not get run over by the Porsche. Let's be careful. Yeah, I've seen this before. It's got various modifications to make it look a bit more like, I don't know, a March Turbo or something like that. But it's quite a basic one. Is this a Colette or something like that? No, it's an SGL. SGL was quite high up the range, actually. This is before they started the sort of facelifts in earnest. I think it was a very minor facelift in the early 80s, but obviously I've driven a much later one than this. In 1989 I drove many years ago and had a completely different grille, so that's before that one. Anyway, then we've got a couple of Jaguars. I suspect this one. This is a very late Mark II 3.4, before the 340 came up, which had been later on in 1967. Which was one that was sort of deconed a little bit, I think, maybe like a vinyl interior, definitely bumpers that weren't as imposing as this. This one is, well, much older. This is a Mark I Jaguar. You don't see many of these. You see Mark II. This is the 3.4. I think the 3.8s only came in with the Mark IIs. I think, was it Mike Hawthorne who had a 3.4 Mark I? Sadly, he passed away whilst driving it in 1959, I think it was, which is a real shame. But this is a very much intact one. It is beautiful, this. Absolutely beautiful car. Oh, we're going to see some engine action. Thank you very much. Have a look at some XK engine action. Here we go. Wow. That is looking very tasty. I mean, even the interior, to be honest, is quite tasty. Green on green leather, full wooden dash. I mean, what exactly more would you want in life? Gosh, it's getting even better views. Look at this Sierra. And it is an XR 4x4. It's actually on, again, an Essex plate. Is this, by any chance, an old Ford press car? I don't know. It's between the facelift that occurred in 87 and the one that occurred in 1990. It's 88 to 89. I mean, having just driven a Sierra, it is coming soon to sensible second-hand classics. I drove one in 2021. I've driven another one now. It was only a 1.6 LX, but it was similar in age to it. It's 87. Fantastic. We'd like that very much, viewers. In fact, I know someone who's got one of these. It's not, I don't necessarily think the same engine as this, but that is very nice. Oh, this Lexus IS200 Sport is here, that was here last month as well. Sport model was reasonably rare, I think. I think this one's a manual actually as well. The IS200s do handle really well. Yeah, it is a manual. They do handle really rather well, these. They're one of the best cars I've ever driven actually for a modest price was one of these. When Mr. Manning from Matty's Cars channel came to visit me last year, which was good. If we move down here, we will see something else that's just turned up. This Porsche 911 996. This is a very early one. I think this is one of the very first of them. Be about 98 on an R. Still got the ginger rear indicator. So just a Carrera 2. I have driven one of these. It was also a Carrera 2, but it was a Tiptronic. This is a manual, and actually it looks pretty good, to be honest. I mean, I'm not sure I like these particularly back in the day, but I'm sort of warming to them a bit more now. Right, I think honestly that is pretty much it from here. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again very soon for some more incorrect information.